Let's take a look at what's in the pack. First are the number cards. These go from 1 to 15 in 4 suits: red, blue, green, and orange. These cards allow you to add and to match. Next are the wild cards. Some of these cards may look scary, but don't worry, you only play with the ones you understand. These include subtraction, multiplication, division, fractions, decimals, percentages, roots, and indices. These cards allow you to perform various operations on the numbers. Numero can be played with different numbers of players, but it's probably the most fun with 2 players. At the beginning, it's easiest to learn by playing with only the number cards, so take the number cards out of the box and leave the wild cards in the box. Before you start, make sure that the cards are well shuffled. Next, cut the pack to decide who will deal. The dealer is the player with the highest number. Deal 5 cards each face down. Place 1 card for each player in the center of the table face up. For example, in a 2-player game, there would be 2 cards face up. In a 3-player game, there would be 3 cards, and so on. The game is most fun with 2 players. Place the rest of the pack face down on the table. The objective of the game is to win the most cards. Let's run through an example game. I'm going to show all the cards in my hand. Now remember, usually you wouldn't be able to see each other's hands. I'm also not going to use the whole pack, as that would take too long. This sample game was created by Roz Ladyman. Both players are dealt 5 cards. 2 cards are placed face up on the table between the players. Make sure you put your cards in order. Being well organized allows you to play faster and win more cards in timed games. Don't forget that you can count the dots on the cards to help you with large numbers. Some cards have points on them, but you can ignore these for now. The non-dealer goes first. Look for any numbers in the center that are the same as numbers in the non-dealer's hand. The non-dealer takes the 2 in the center with the 2 in their hand. This kind of take is called a match. Remember to say what you are doing. You must always verbalize the moves you make in Numero. The non-dealer's turn ends when they play the number card. They must then replace the card they used with one from the pack, so that they still have 5 cards in their hand. It does not matter how many cards are in the center. They make a pile of winnings from the cards they collect. So far, they have 2. It's now the dealer's turn. The dealer does not have a 4, and cannot do anything useful, so the dealer has to discard. The dealer discards the lowest number, 6, because in this game, larger numbers are more useful for picking up. Be aware that sometimes it's not best to discard the smallest card. Always think about your discards carefully. The dealer's turn ends when they play their number card. They must then replace the card they used with one from the pack, so that they still have 5 cards in their hand. You must remember to do this at the end of each turn. It doesn't matter how many cards are in the center. The non-dealer can make another take. They can add together 6 and the 4 to make 10. 6 plus 4 equals 10. This kind of take is called a join. The best thing about a join is that you can do it by moving cards at the center, not your hand. This means your turn isn't over yet. The join can use more than 2 cards if there are more than 2 in the center. Once the non-dealer has used the 10 from their hand to pick up their take, their turn is over. The non-dealer adds 3 more cards to their winnings pile, but replaces the used card in their hand. In their last turn, the non-dealer took all the cards from the center. This is a very good tactic. It forces the other player to waste a turn discarding, instead of being able to pick up. This tactic is called clearing the center. You should clear the center whenever you get the chance. The dealer has to discard. In the absence of anything more useful, they discard their smallest card, an 8. The non-dealer doesn't have an 8, but they do have a 1 and a 9. And 8 plus 1 equals 9. So the non-dealer can put the 1 on the 8 in the center, which makes it into a 9. This is called a build. Once cards have been joined together like this, in a join or a build, they cannot be broken up again. You must have the answer to a build in 1 card in your hand. Because the non-dealer used a number card from their hand, a 1, their turn is now over. They must wait before they can take their build. The other player is allowed to change the build in their turn if they can. The dealer doesn't have a 9, but they do have a 2 and an 11, and 9 plus 2 is 11. So the dealer can put the 2 on the 9 in the center, which makes it into an 11. Because the dealer used a number card from their hand, a 2, their turn is now over, and they must wait before they can take their build. The non-dealer doesn't have an 11, but they do have a 3 and a 14, and 11 plus 3 equals 14, so the dealer can put the 3 on the 11 in the center, which makes it into a 14. Because the non-dealer used a number card from their hand, a 3, their turn is now over, and they must wait before they can take their build. The dealer doesn't have a 14, and can't do anything useful, so the dealer has to discard. The dealer discards one of the 15s, because they make a pair, and the dealer might be able to make a match on the next turn. The non-dealer takes the build with their 14. This now brings their winnings to 9 cards. The dealer takes the 15 with her 15. This now brings their winnings to 2 cards. The dealer has also cleared the center, forcing the non-dealer to discard next turn. The non-dealer discards the 5. This is not simply because it is the lowest card, it is also because in their next turn the non-dealer could add the 7 to it to make 12. Always look ahead to what might be useful later when you discard. In this simple game we are not playing with a full pack, and the cards have now run out. This means that the players cannot keep the number of cards in their hand at 5 anymore. When one player runs out of cards, the game will be over. Once there are no more cards to pick up, you should keep track of who is the last person to pick up from the center. That person will win any cards that are left in the center at the end. The dealer discards the 4. This is not simply because it's the lowest card, it's also because in their next turn the dealer could add the 10 to it to make 14. The non-dealer joins the 4 and 5 to make 9. 4 plus 5 equals 9. It is still the non-dealer's turn because they have not moved a number from their hand yet, so they can take the join with their 9 and they can clear the center. The non-dealer now has 11 cards in their winnings pile. This is a better move than the 5 plus 7 equals 12 move, which would have taken more turns but might not have cleared the center. Don't be afraid to change your plans. With nothing better to do, the dealer discards their 10, which is their smallest card. With nothing better to do, the non-dealer discards their 7, which is their smallest card. The dealer still can't do anything useful and so discards the 11. The non-dealer discards the 12. The dealer discards the 13. The non-dealer matches the 13 in the center with their 13. They've now won 13 cards. The non-dealer has now run out of cards. The dealer has one more chance to play and then the game is over. The dealer must be able to make a join or a match. No building or discarding is allowed. The dealer cannot make 14 and so the game is over. The non-dealer made the last take from the center, so the non-dealer wins the 4 cards left in the center, bringing their total up to 14. The dealer has 1 card left in their hand, so they must take a 1 card penalty from their winnings. They have 2 cards in their winnings pile and must take 1 away, so the dealer only wins 1 card. Cards left over in a hand at the end of the game do not get counted by anyone as winnings. Always remember to replace cards that you have used from your hand. Your turn ends when you play a number card from your hand. You must have the answer in 1 card in your hand to any joins or builds that you make. Matches and joins can be taken straight away. Builds must be waited for. Other people may take or change your builds. Builds cannot be broken up once made. You must always say what you are doing. For example, 4 plus 5 equals 9, and I take with my 9. You must show your answer card if you are making a build. Always try to think ahead and have a plan up your sleeve.